Good morning, everyone. Today we are celebrating the Duruthu full moon day. Bante Sumana mentioned some special events took place on the Duruthu full moon day, and now we are going to have the Dhamma talk, full moon day Dhamma talk. Basically, before the beginning of Dhamma talk, you don't need to observe 5 precepts, but now I begin the Dhamma Desana. Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajas Sunantu Saggamukhadang Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Padanta Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Pandalang Chapalang Chittang Durakhandun Nivarayang Ujung Karoti Medhavi Usukaro Tejananti. Today's Dharma talk topic I got from the Dhammapada, Chittavagga, first Gatha. Those who have a knowledge about Buddha's teaching, we know if you say that Buddha's teaching is only about the chitta, meaning mind, that is acceptable statement. Then in Buddhism there are many other words. Mana is a word for chitta. Vijnana is another word for chitta. Basically mind. But when Buddha used these terms, all these terms have different meanings. Although he used the word chitta, mana, or other vijnana, all these we think mean the same thing, but it is for the Buddha it is totally different things. Different side of the mana. That's what. we have heard that Eskimos have so many names for snow because at different time the snow appear differently, shape is different, texture is different, and other things are different, density is different. So the Eskimo have different names because they are expert on snow. Just like that, Buddha is the expert on the mind. When he used these different terms, it is different meanings, not just mind. For example, Vijnana. Jna is to know. Vijnana means separately know. Know something separately. It is not mind, it is a function of the mind. Vijnana is a very major activity of any mind. Your mind, my mind, any person's mind, mind of a hungry ghost, mind of a dog, a mind of a little insect. They all have vijnana. Vijnana is mind's ability to separate colors and shades and sizes and distance. All these things you can separately know because your vijnana is functioning. Vijnana is the activity of the mind, function of the mind. When that is properly active, you hear something and you see something and you taste something and then you smell something, maybe at the same time. It appears to be same time. When you are in the movie theater, watching the movie and eating your popcorn and sitting next to another person, so you feel you can see the taste, you can see the picture, you can see the sound, you can feel the person who is sitting next to you. And all these things you differently perceive because of vijnana. Although we may say that he is seeing the movie, hearing the words of the movie, hearing the music, smelling the popcorn, smelling the theater smell, feeling the person's skin or shirt or coat, something like that. It happens at the same time when you are going to see the movie? No. One thing at a time. If your mind perceives the picture on the screen, at that millisecond, you don't hear the sound. You hear the sound, conversation of the actors on the movie, people in the movie, and then you see the picture, then you feel the popcorn, smell the popcorn, all different, but it happens so fast. Therefore, we think we are eating popcorn, we are watching the movie, we are listening to the dialogue, we are listening to the music, all at the same time. because it happens so fast. So for us, it looked like one thing. Our brain is, our mind is multitasking. These days multitasking is a common popular term. You are on the phone, and at the time you are taking notes, and at the same time you are talking, the same time you are listening, and same time you talk to another person who is coming into the room. That is multitasking. But actually, all these different things happen in different moments, not at the same moment. So these are different. But our mind has the ability to separate what you are writing, separate what you are hearing from the other side, thinking of what you are going to say to the answer to the other side. And all these things separated because of the mind's function of the discriminative perception. Discriminative perception. Sound is one, music sound is one, voice is one, another person's voice is different sound. You know that this is another person talking, and all these information that came into your mind through your senses, your eye, your ear, your nose, and your tongue, and your skin, and your mind, all these things arose in your mind is separately recognized by your mind. But while they are separating, mind has the ability to put them together. When you hear the word, so many words, different words, but you put all the words together and make a sentence, and you understand something, what that person say. And you know the person who is walking into your room is different from what you hear, what you see in the movie, and things like that. So sankhara and vijnana. Vijnana means separate the perception. Sankhara means putting it together. That's another activity of the mind. Sankhara means editing. Sanskaraka in Sri Lankan Sinhalese language, the person who edit the magazine or newspaper, put all the different information together and make one thing, one magazine or one newspaper or something. So Sanskaraka. Sankhara, now suppose you see me on your screen, you see me, you think you see me, but actually you see hundreds and different things at the same time. You can see my face. You can see my nose. You can see my mouth. You can see the glasses. While you can see the lines of my face going like this, and you can see the ears and all this. And then you think that you saw me. Your mind catch me, meaning saw me through your eye. But actually, while you are seeing me, you see the curtain on the red curtain in the back. You see the Buddha in the other side. You see another Buddha, little white Buddha in this side. You see the flowers. So you saw my robe. You saw my shoulders. You saw all the detail separately. But your mind has the ability to put it together, and you see the Buddha in the left side, you see the white Buddha in the other side, you see the flowers in the other side, and you see me somewhere in the middle. But what did you see me? You see my ear, you see my ear, you see my glass, you see my nose, you see my mouth, and you see my forehead, you see my head, and you see my chin, and you see my robe. All these things, if you didn't see me, you never see me. If your mind did not separate from the background, from me, what you think is Bhante, it's all one paint, no details, no shapes, no different lights, none of those things, one big blob. But you don't see it. You see a beautiful image of the Buddha in the background, a Bhante in the front, wearing robes, wearing glasses, also moving his hand. All these things you see because your mind has the ability to separate. So, Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. So I already talked about Sankhara and Vijnana, editing, putting the pictures together and separating it and putting it, separating it, putting it, separating it, putting it. If you don't separate the words that I say, you never hear a sentence. You separately heard what I said. When I say what I said, what is a separate word? I is a separate word. Said is a separate word. You heard them separately, and you distinguish what from I. What from I from said, what I said. See, the mind is a very, very amazing machine. Separate every little thing that you perceive and put them together, and you made a nice sentence. And you made the meaning of what I said. What I said. Every time this happened throughout our whole life. We see things, we separate things, we put them together, and we see a frame, we see a monitor, we see a keyboard, we see some wires connected, and then you call it computer. You see it computer. Now you said a computer. You look at me and say, Bhante is giving the Dhamma talk. Our Buddha is sitting, gold Buddha is sitting on this side, the white Buddha is sitting this side. You thought, you call Bhante, you call Buddha, you came up with these things? Did you name them? Everything you see the actors, this is one actor and this is another actor, this is another actor, even the names of the actors sometimes, right? In the movie. But at this moment you said Bante, Buddha, white Buddha, gold Buddha, fan, patapata, and robes. All these are called names. What is the Buddhist? What is the Sinhalese word for name? Nama. You know the word Nama, right? Nama means name. Nama, you gave a name and you create an image. Put all these pieces together, kannadiya, my glasses, my bowl head and my shape and my robes and all these put together. You call a monk, Bante. Name. That's name. But to give a name, you have to have a rupa. Nama rupa. Nama rupa means naming and making forms. Forming. I call it naming and forming. Nama rupa. Every little thing that you see somewhere in a faraway country that you travel, you see something black in the middle of the road. You don't know what that thing is because it's a foreign country, but you give a name. Something black, something black. That is the name. I see something black. See that? Yeah. Then you have a form. In your image, you create a form and then you give a name. That is the mind's ability to name and form. Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa Pachya. Avidya Pachya. Sankara Sankara Pachya. Vijnana Vijnana Pachya. Nama Rupa Pachya. Salayatana. This is Paticcasamuppada I was talking about. Paticcasamuppada means how all these different parts of the mind work together. That is what the Paticcasamuppada is. Avidya Pachya Sankara. Sankara Pachya Vijnana. Vijnana Pachya Namarupa. Namarupa Pachya Salayatana. Salayatana Pachya Passu. Passa Pachya Vedana. Vedana Pachya Tanha. Tanha Pachya Upadana. Upadana Pachya Bhav. Bhav Pachya Jati. Jati Pachya Jara. Marana. Soka. Parideva. Dukkha. Domanasa. Upayasa. Coming. Who create all that? Your mind create all that. The mind has the ability to create all that and Namarupaccha Salayatana. Salayatana means 6 sensory faculties. Not just the eye, not just the nose something that I can touch, but my whole field of smelling I cannot touch. But I made this ayatana, whole faculty. My eye I can touch, my eye faculty I cannot touch. The whole process of seeing. So, this mind, so-called mind, is so many things, so many activities come together and working together. When it is functioning means this is what I mean by functioning. You have a car sitting in your porch and you put the key and you start the engine. Now all the parts of the engine is working. If we see or not, it is constantly working together very nicely, harmoniously. All parts of the engines keep working until you shut it off. It is called running. Engine is running. Our mind is also running. This is a running object. It's a process, constantly running. This part is working, this part is working, this part is working, that part is working. All these parts are working together. It is running, and we call it life. All what we do is this, what you call consciousness, what you call chetana, what we call chitta, all these are working continuously. Where? In me, I don't say in my mind, because this is the mind we are talking about. What I call me, in me, what I call you, what I call your dog, your cat, your little boy, your child, your daughter. Every person's mind, this operation is constantly going on and on and on and on. And Buddha saw this. Buddha is the only psychologist who completely understood the whole process of what we call mind. All these new psychologists may have seen some segments, fractions of the mind, some activities. For example, when Buddha say chitta, chitta cannot exist by itself. Saragan chitta, vitaragan chitta, mettena chitta, metta chitta. So what does that mean? Raga means emotion. Raga is an emotion, lust, arise and pass away. You see something beautiful, you immediately get attached to it. Lust. Saragan chitta. Metta chittang, you feel compassionate and you feel caring. And that time, the chitta means caring mind, lustful mind, hateful mind. All these names are calling anger, kindness, compassion, love, lust, hate. All these are emotions. When the Buddha used the word chitta for mind, it's not the mind Buddha is talking about. Buddha is talking about our emotions. Chittena niyati loko. World is controlled by, governed by these emotions. All the people, even the little animal in the forest, hungry, see the prey, And now immediately want to grab that prey and bring uh, turn his hunger off. But at the same time, that little animal see the lion or tiger, the predator, immediately get emotional and start running and running and running. If we did not have the fear is an emotion, right? Fear, that animal will never run. That little animal, because he saw the tiger, lion, or another predator coming to attack you. So all of us, when you see a letter from your attorney or something during a divorce that you are going on, that emotion, even before opening the letter, you are angry and disturbed just by seeing the cover of the letter come from your attorney, her attorney, or his attorney. Immediately start becoming emotional. So, when the Buddha used the word chitta, it's always emotions. 20, 9:30. Okay. Okay, it's almost 10 o'clock. I'm looking at the time. So I also mentioned to you, Nama Rupa is generally translated as body and mind. That's how we translate. That may be acceptable. But when Buddha uses Nama Rupa, those are activities of the mind. You always create a picture out of what you see. Out of the detail what you see, you put that detail together and create a picture, create an image, and you give that image a name. Grandmother. Now, how do you know this image of female body is grandmother? Because you already put this new image that you are seeing now with your memory bank. It's called Sankara. Sankara means also editing, also Sanskara, we say Sanskara Raskarna means we are collecting Sanskara. That means your experience put in the memory bank. That is called Sankara. Sanskara Raskarna Gyane. We call it collecting Sanskaras. That means putting things that you see in your memory bank. From the day one, what you see, if it is impressive, if it is something memorable, you put it in you don't put it, but it goes to your memory bank. And you have seen grandmother for so many times in your life. And today when you see grandmother, you immediately see this image and match with your grandmother image in the file. You do it like in a second. All these things happen in milliseconds, so fast. And therefore we have no idea all these are happening. You see, I saw grandmother, I saw the computer, see, I see my own picture. So we do that, we say that all the time, we think that it happened, but lot of things happen inside to come to the point that you call, oh, our grandma is coming. Many things came. When you see that person coming, you see her gray hair, you see her wrinkles on the face, and you see her normal clothes that she wear, and you know her style of working, and you discriminate all this and put it together and say, grandmother is coming. So our mind is a very, very complicated mechanical process. Because your mind and my mind work in the same way. Your camera take a picture, my camera take a picture, but the mechanical side of your camera and my camera is basically there's a lens, there's a shutter, there's a film or something to record, and then there's a light that goes through the lens. Same process. Your camera takes the picture, my camera takes the picture. Your mind sees something, my camera sees something. But do I see the same thing that you see? No. Your point of view is different. Point of view means where you are standing. Where you are standing not only mean that physically standing, where you are standing as a person. Where I am standing as a person who had studied, became a monk when I was little, and then learned so much the sutras, and gave some Dhamma talks and thought about it, and that's where I am standing. And then someone who is listening to me is standing from the engineering background or the another male background, female background, whatever the background that person is, what I see is not the same thing that other person see, because we stand from different grounds. We see from different perspective. The color is different, light is different from my angle. So I see one thing and you see one thing, and I really see what I think I saw, and you really think what you think you saw. And you say, there is this one, and I say, no, there is this one. So the arguments start. So at the beginning I said, Chittena niyati loko. If there is no emotions of these people, all these conflicts between countries, now Russia and the United States, and maybe Ukraine, and all these emotions are the one involved in there. And when we accuse somebody, and when you get mad at somebody, all these are emotions. Chitta. Chitta is the one, not the Vijnana. Vijnana doesn't. Vijnana is behind. But all are working together. But final decision is made to fight or made to hug, give a hug, is created by emotion. That emotion is created by whole process of activities of the mind that constantly ongoing. From the day you are born all these mental activities are constantly operating. Now we know the word avidya. Avidya is a mental activity. What is the activity? You just let the sensory organs and your other parts of the mind, consciousness and perception and all that, you just relax them. When you relax all these other parts of the mind, anything can come to your mind. When you are not guarding your senses, your eye, your ear, your tongue, your nose, your words, when you are not guarding, that means all the doors are open, windows are open, birds can fly in, and animals can come in, wind can come in, dust can come in, all these come and collect inside the room, inside the house, because you left all those open without guarding. So now, what happened? Our mind, when it is not properly guarded, all kinds of thoughts, all kinds of ideas, all kinds of images, all kinds of sounds, all kinds of other information constantly get, and what happened? It get cluttered. Dust is here, leaves are here, birds are running here, or they drop the feathers, and all kinds of jumble happen. Avidya means let all these things in. Sankara, again, here is collection. Now we are collecting, putting together and collect. Avidya pacha sankara. Avidya means our negligence. In simple words, our negligence. What is the opposite of avidya? Sati can be avidya. Also vidya. Vidya charana sampanno. Buddha's mind is constantly alert. Buddha does not let anything come into his mind and clutter his mind. Any arahant won't do it. Our mind constantly get cluttered. Any thought, I sit down and I close my eyes and I start thinking and thinking, all nonsense. And it get piled up in my system. Everything I think, everything I see, everything I feel, everything I touch, all these come in, and our life become miserable because of avidya. So much clutter. When there is clutter, what is not there? Clarity. When there is clutter, there is no clarity. Does the Buddha have clutter? No. What does he have? Clarity. So he see things, perceive things very clearly and precisely, unlike us. Because we cannot do it, because many things blocking our view, because so many things inside here. Because we neglected, the chair came in yesterday, another bed somebody brought here, and then another barrel of oil or something came in, then something else came in, and you all accept all these things coming in? No. When you have sati, you discriminate and you block them. This is a good thing to have in my room. This is a barrel of oil. We don't put it in my room, my house. It's outside somewhere. So mindfulness is constantly observing everything that is coming in, everything that is going out. From where? From your so-called mind. So-called mind. I don't call it chitta because chitta is an emotion. This is not an emotion. This is another process. Mechanical processes, just like your virus scan. Your virus scan is doing the same thing that mindfulness do in our mind. So now we have a short time. So I was talking about this because we start with the Gatha from the Chitta Vagga. Pandanang chapalang chittang durakhang dunnivarayam ujung karoti medhavi. I think yango gonabi kirati. Pandanang chapalang chittang. Pandanang, constantly shaking, because that's what we call multitasking. You go here, go there, go here, go there. That's shaking. Pandanang. Chapalang. Don't stay in one straight line. Go here, go there. Same thing. Pandanang, chapalang. Chittang here is our emotional mind. Emotion, our emotions. Pandanang, chapalang, chittang. Durakhang. Very difficult to protect from trouble. It's constantly going into trouble, getting in unnecessary things, in clutter your system. Durakang, hard to control. Don't come. I want this area to be clean. I don't want to be disturbed. Durakang, hard to protect. Rakka, mind. Dunnivara. All these things are coming in so fast and so quickly. So many different data, information is coming into my system in any given second. Nivara means block. Nivarane. I cannot block. Or the mind is very hard to block. Not mind is hard to block. Yeah, mind is so Dunnivara, very difficult to block. Stop. Ujung karoti means like clean up, straighten up. We say straighten up this room. This is so messy. So then we call, we put the chairs in the right place and books in the bookshelves and other things in the food and other things in the kitchen someplace. That's called straightening up. Ujung karoti. Straightening up. Straightening up. Ujung karoti. Who does that? Medhavi. Medhavi means wise people. Who are the wise people? Wise people are the people who know Dharma. If you don't know Dharma, you're called Bala. Moga Purusha. So, Medhavi, a wise person. person with knowledge of Dharma, that is the person who knows which place you should put which. Otherwise, you jumble everything. That's what we always do. We mix up ourselves. So, sukaro tejanam. Sukaro means when the arrow is not straight, it does not go to the right spot. The usukara means arrow makers make it very straight. Who does that to the mind? Wise people do that to the mind. Okay, so this is the Gatha we started today for the Dhamma talk. Now, our minds, if we have been born in a Buddhist culture, Buddhist country, naturally you have heard Dhamma for 2000 some years, like in Sri Lanka, maybe some long years in Thailand and Burma. By being born in a country like that, you have a very good understanding, or not very good, but at least some understanding of Dhamma just by living there. Not by learning Dhamma. Muslims in Sri Lanka, Hindus in Sri Lanka, Christians in Sri Lanka, they don't listen to Dharma generally. They don't learn Dharma from our point of view. But they live with our people who had learned Dharma. When you live in a society together with other people, you basically pick up the behavior of the common people of the country or the place. So, Christians, Muslims and Hindus and other people who grow up in Sri Lanka are slightly different because they have some knowledge of Dhamma even without learning, just by being in that culture. So I would say they are basically more refined. If Buddhists are refined, straighten up, clean up. If Buddhists think that they have cleaned up their mind, but not always. In Sri Lanka or Thailand, lot of minds that are not straightened up. Not even that. So even our cultures, we see so many people who are so messed up, meaning let all the dirt come in. That is what I mean by messed up. Huh? They have neglected their mind, avijja, neglected their mind for a long time, so they are so cluttered. Now even in Sri Lanka, sometimes you can, these people now complain about the monks sometimes. That is mainly because the monks also let the regular information come into their mind and get disturbed by that mind. That's what, if they are complaining about the Buddhist monks in Sri Lanka, because it's avijja. Avijja means let the mind open for any junk to come in and they accept it. So it's not only monks, but every person in the world is doing it. So you cannot blame the monks, or some group, but monks are supposed to know a little bit better than common people, if you want to call it. But we cannot blame the monks because they are living in the culture that is partly groomed by the Dharma, but also after a long time, since the beginning of Dhamma, arrival of Dhamma, now you have neglected the Dhamma. That means we have neglected using Dhamma. If you use the Dhamma, our life become much more refined. You may know the Dhamma, but if you not use it, then that's a different story. So today's message is about Chitta, how important it is to refine the Chitta. Now we have been talking about Eightfold Path, all this Dhamma series. That Eightfold Path is the Buddhist method of cleaning up this unfortunate, messed up mind of all of us. How to clean it up and make us so pure and clean and peaceful and beautiful. That is called Nibbana, Nirvana. Perfect enlightenment can be gained only by following Eightfold Path. That is what we have been talking. But today, I was mainly planning to talk about Samadhi, because we talk about other links of Eightfold Path. But before talk about the Samadhi, I want to talk why the Samadhi is necessary. Samadhi means calmness of the mind is so necessary. Why right mindfulness is so necessary, how it is going to be helpful. So those are the things that we should be talking. And now you have a clear idea that our mind is not one thing. There's no such a thing called mind. We can pinpoint. There are many activities of the mind. That whole thing, including all the emotions and all the perception, all the discrimination or vijnana, all the putting together, editing, sankhara, nama rupa, all these things are part of the mind that we talk about. You cannot say this part is the mind out of all these things. No. So chitta, we normally say mind. Mana, we normally call it mind. Vijnana, we normally call it mind. But these are all little different segments, little different fractions of the mind. But you observe. When you and I observe it, you can see. Observe what? Observe how your mind, the mental process work. Different parts of the mechanical object, which is the mind, come together and work together, just like the car engine is running, working together with many other parts and pieces. So this is 10:30 now. I think our Dhamma discussion time is over. In the afternoon, we have Dhamma discussion. That is 2:30, and before that 1:15 we have Dhamma talk in Sinhalese by Venerable Sumana. That's 1:15 to 2:15, and now we have a short meditation session. Until then, we take a short break. But now, by listening to the Dhamma talk, you paid attention, I hope, and try to see the complication of what we call mind, and how Buddha recognized all these details of the activities of the mind, and how to deal with them is taught in the fourth noble truth that Buddha covered in his 45 years of life. And that means how to clean up the mind is the fourth noble truth. What are the techniques that we use, that we should be using, and all this information is called Dhamma. And today, by listening to the Dhamma, you generated so much wisdom for yourself, and cultivating wisdom is generating a lot of merit for yourself. And let us share the merit with all the devas and all our deceased relatives and friends and family members. Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu loka sasanang. Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanang. Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu no sada. Idamme ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. By listening to the Dhamma, you generated so much wisdom. By the power of the wisdom, may you all be able to attain ultimate peace and clarity of your mind, which is Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we break the streaming. In 1 minute, we start again, and Bante Sumana will come. Huh? Make a try off.